This is Dennis with Builder Academy from builderresources.com. This session I'm going to explore the estimate page tools on EstimatorPro. Since this is an introductory video, I'll try to limit my comments and just show you the tools you have at hand to build estimates just as you want them. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Let's get started. When you received your EstimatorPro download, there was an add-in package attached that contained a number of very useful shortcuts. You can access those shortcuts by clicking on Add-ins in your toolbar. Let's talk about these individual features. Globe will always bring you back to Cost Breakdown Summary, no matter where you are in the spreadsheet. Go to Detail and go to Database work together. They'll toggle you back and forth between a detail sheet and its related database sheet. Preview Sheets shows a listing of phase sheets if you are in the estimating spreadsheet, and database sheets if you are in the database spreadsheet. Allows you to go to a sheet by clicking on the name. Also allows you to scroll through the pages by using the arrows. The Go-To sheet gives you an alphabetical or a tab listing of all the database information if you're in the database, or the detail sheets information if you're in the estimating spreadsheet. Go to Previous Sheet takes you to the previous tab in the tab listing. And Next Sheet takes you to the next tab listing. The Back Sheet takes you to the last sheet you were on. The Key Info summarizes your takeoff sheet information. The PopUp Calculator gives you an on-screen calculator and also gives you access to the specialty calculators available, specifically the lumber calculator, which allows you to calculate material needs. We've covered the lumber calculator in another video, so I won't go over it again, but it's a very useful feature of EstimatorPro. On the page utilities, I use the change order and the show names. I don't really use any of the other features here just because I haven't found a need for them. My purchase order system, for instance, handles my purchase orders, so I don't need to use EstimatorPro to do that. The show names is useful for finding cell names if you are doing any kind of customization for EstimatorPro. Let's take a look at that. You can go to a tab here. This gives us a list of all the names that are used on this sheet, and when you click on them, it shows you where the cells with those names are located. Again, not something you're going to use every day, but something that is useful if you're doing any customization. The most important feature here is the change orders, which don't work on this sheet, obviously. So let's take a look at how it works on another. Let's say we have a change that we want to make to the exterior doors. You'll notice that it adds a tab down here called Entry Door Change 1. And then we can add 500 because the customer upgraded glass in front door. And you can see that that $500 has been added here into the change order column, and our budget has been increased by $500 to $2,800. Now if we want to, we can add a second change order, and we now have entry door change 2, and let's say customer added double door entry. And when we return here, we find that that has been updated as well, and we now have $1,250 in change orders, and our budget has been increased to $3,550. Now the nice thing about this is that you can track this information very easily. We now have the entry door original, entry door change 2, and change 1. So if there's any question about where the changes came from, you can track them right here. This system matches up very well with the client management system that we use on the website. You can go to the home page, clients, client relationship documents, and you can see there the confirmation of instructions that we use in place of the change order. Before we get to the summary, there are a couple other features here that we can talk about. This set date checkbox here, the date showing here, June 24th, 2014, is today. And every time you call up the estimate, that's going to update itself unless you check here, at which time it'll freeze this date, so you know exactly when that estimate was created. For right now, I'm going to uncheck that so this date will float. There is a check over here, include change orders and variance. If checked, it adds the change order charges to the variance calculation. I don't use it on most jobs, but you can turn it on or off to see the results if you're interested. And then with these two buttons here, you can add a draw or delete a draw. When a draw has a specific category attached to it, you'll allocate that portion of the draw to the line item for each draw, so you know exactly where you stand on each budget number. This kind of job costing supports your accounting job costing, and between the two of them you should be always up to date with where your budgets are for your jobs. Okay, let's go to the summary feature now. The first selection here is the customized summary, which allows you to change the phase order of your phase listings, alphabetize the phases, hide phases you don't use, and unhide those phases if you decide that you want to use them on other jobs. We'll be using this feature in the next video when we begin building Anderson Estimate, so you'll see exactly how that works. Show estimate totals opens a summary window showing hard costs, project overhead cost, company overhead, and profit. Just a quick check on the job. Percent of total opens a column showing phases as a percent of total. I have built some analytical tools onto the spreadsheet myself to show the information I want as far as the percentage of total cost. I don't use the phase by phase percent of total, but you may. The next is the price per square feet. Again, I have built my own analysis for that, but there's no reason you can't use that if you want. You notice it just keeps adding to this spreadsheet. It just keeps getting larger and larger depending on the information that you want to use. The next one is total draws, and I do use that column right here. Actual bid, and I do use that column right here. Change order, I do use that column as well. The completed phases column is right here, and that's added by clicking on that button. And it's used to indicate that the phase is now fully charged and closed, and there won't be any more charges coming to that phase. So in other words, when you complete the foundation, then you'll go ahead and click that, showing that that phase is finished. Unclick it to show that it's still open. You do have a lot of tools available in EstimatorPro to make estimating a project faster and easier. The more you use the program, the more comfortable you're going to get with all the tools. Okay, next we'll use everything we have learned about the database, the detail sheet, and the estimating tools to finally create an estimate for the Anderson project.